Good morning. It's an absolute pleasure to be able to present my paper, not just virtually, but also physically during the time of the conference. My name is Sonia. I'm currently doing my PhD in psychology from Jain University in Bangalore. The topic of my PhD research is effective film therapy on body image dissatisfaction among adolescents. Please note that this is an ongoing research and I have not derived any findings as of now because I'm still in the process of data collection. Um, a little introduction before we start. Now, according to Ricciardoli and Jaeger in 2016, the adolescence has the period of adolescence has basically four major factors, namely romantic relationships, puberty, peer culture, and identity formation. Something that I'm going to be looking into is identity formation, basically how we meet our appearance ideals, which is how we imitate or want to look like our role models, and the way we look at each other, which is our body image. Now, media influence has four different major factors, which is the idea of beauty, socio-cultural influences, physical appearance, and social approval, which all basically comes down to how it affects our body image, not just as adolescents, but also as adults. But in this context, I'm going to be looking at adolescents. Now, the need for my study is most researchers highlight the Western perspective of body image. And since, as an Indian, there are very few researchers that highlight the prevalence of body image concerns, not just on adults, but also on adolescents. And this is precisely why I wanted to do this research, because it's high time that we speak about body image concerns among adolescents, because they have access to a lot of other media activities, which influences them to react in different ways, and one of the most important aspects is body image at the moment, and that's why this is something that I wanted to do my research on. Also, there are positive researches that bar the researches on film as therapy, basically using film as an intervention module. So this is something I will come to later and explain during my presentation. So my review of literature, so after kind of reading over 200, 300 papers, I have divided my review of literature into two distinct parts. The first is body image among adolescents, where there are two separate themes, which is prevalence of concerns and body image dissatisfaction. Now, these are just, please note that these are just Indian researchers. There are more researches that are non-Indian researches and have been done on various other populations, which does not really concern me at the moment, because I just want to understand the Indianized concept and Indianized version of how body image concerns are actually highlighted in researches. So the prevalence of concerns, there are several researches that identify and highlight that body image is also a major concern in India as well as other parts of the world, and the concept of how body image dissatisfaction has become very common, and a lot of people don't identify that it is dissatisfaction, but then they're okay with it. So these are some researches that I found, Indian researches that I found. Now, coming to media and body image, there are a couple of themes that I found in the researches that I was looking into. Prevalence of media influence was one of the biggest themes that I found, where it is prevalent that there is a lot of media influence on body image among adolescents. Then the next one was media and stereotyping. The main form of stereotyping is the fact that a lot of these people are gender stereotyping, and a lot of these researchers find gender stereotypes not just with men and women, but also with transgenders and also with sexual orientations. Then the next one is media influence and body image dissatisfaction. Now, there are two very distinct researches that I found on media influence, on direct influence on body image dissatisfaction, basically how we look at or we're exposed to a certain amount of media, and we feel dissatisfied about the way we perceive ourselves and our bodies. And the next one was impact in films and advertisements. This is something that I will come to later on during my presentation. Okay, so the review of literature can be summarized as broadly as the following. Now, in in the 92.1% of all researches on adolescents that are conducted, 92.1% are of body image, okay, and 38.7% of all the researches that I have found out are that of body image, reflecting the fact that media is a massive or a major factor or an influence on body image, and out of which 16.2% of researchers aim that media influence of on body image among adolescents highlights only film and television as the main influence. So that is something that I found out, and I categorized my entire review of literature into this. um, so in the researches that I found that use film as therapy, I found only three researchers as of now. Bierman and his colleagues in 2008 did research on 100 adolescent girls in Good Shepherd Center in Baltimore of Maryland, where they diagnosed the girls with major depression, bipolar disorder, ODD, PTSD, conduct disorder, and borderline personality disorder. Now, the girls in treatment stayed in the metaphor of the film as they came out with their personal differences and with their personal defenses. Now, unfortunately, they've started defending their feelings against sadness, depression, anxiety, anger, etc. And hence, Bierman and his colleagues came to the conclusion that film therapy is supplementary and cannot and should not be used as a standalone intervention. Angela Wu in 2008 initiated a 2 day workshop or a conference on how cinema therapy does affect adolescents. She understood that viewing appropriate movies to help validate a client's experience as they observe situations help them, not just helps them resonate with their own problems, but also helps them relate to the characters situations and their problems, and this helped them discuss their stories, their character struggles, and their moral dilemmas which were presented in the movie. Now, Schulenberg in 2003, in his research Psychotherapy and Movies on using films in clinical practice, introduced a three-stage guideline to using film in therapy, where these three stages are assessment, implementation, and debriefing, something that I will come up with in the following slides. So the objectives of my study, I have three objectives of my study: to explore and examine the different aspects and concerns of body image and body image dissatisfaction among school-going adolescents in Bangalore, which is South India; to explore and examine and determine the effect of film therapy on body image dissatisfaction among adolescents. The hypothesis that I will be testing based on this objective is is there is no significant effect of film therapy on the level of body image dissatisfaction among adolescents, which is also my null hypothesis. Now, the third objective is to examine the individual differences reflecting on the participants' account of their thoughts and perceptions about their body image. My second hypothesis that I will be testing is based on the various moderating variables. Now, individuals vary in the perceptions of body image. So basically, there is no significant effect of film therapy on the participant's age, on the participant's gender, on the participant's BMI, and on the participant's grade in determining the level of body image dissatisfaction. The major research gap identification that I found was using film as therapy. Now, most researches done on films or on cinema are basically either opinionated film reviews, or they are under the umbrella term of sociological perspective, where they portray the effect of films and advertisements, but with a sociological perspective. Now, there was an example, there was multiple research articles written on this film called Boy Erased, which became very famous, which is basically about this boy who comes out as homosexual to his very conservative family, and the way in which his family deals with his situation, and how they force him to go into hormonal therapy and things like that. And there were a lot of articles which basically spoke about how as a society we are not really accepting of certain people and things like that. So something that I wanted to look into was film as therapy as an at an individual perspective. So that's something that I wanted to look into, and I believe my research is going to kind of fix that gap. The variables that I have, my independent variable is the film therapy intervention module that I have come up with. The dependent variable is body image dissatisfaction, and the moderating variables have been divided into two: the personal variables and institutional variables. Personal variables involve age, gender, and BMI, and the institutional variables involve grade, which is again not ABC, but the class and the standard in which the child is studying. My research methodology. So my research is descriptive as well as experimental. Descriptive because it describes film therapy, something that really hasn't been researched on widely before, and it also is experimental because it tests the effect of my intervention module on body image dissatisfaction among adolescents. Now, my research design is basically called the embedded mixed methods research design. This is a research design which basically involves a pre-test, post-test, and an intervention. And this was given by Cresswell. The pre-test is the body shape questionnaire, which is a questionnaire that there was a standardized questionnaire that I would be using. The data collection is quantitative, of course, and the data analysis that I'll be using is paired sample t-test. The intervention module is the film therapy intervention module that I have come up with. It is a qualitative method of data collection where I will be conducting individual counseling sessions, and I will be using interview schedule where I will not be recording the entire verbatim or the entire session, but I will be writing down points as the client is talking to me during the session, because a lot of students that I was working with are not comfortable with their sessions being recorded, which kind of also hampers the honest responses. And the data analysis is interpretive phenomenological analysis. Now the post test again is the same thing: body shape questionnaire, the quantitative data method of data collection, and the data analysis again is paired sample t-test. Now my sampling, I have two sources of sampling. My primary source is the body shape questionnaire, which is the BSQ 34 given by Cooper and his colleagues in 1987. The film therapy intervention module, which is something that I have made, and the intervention interview schedule, which is basically what I just spoke about in the previous slide. My secondary sources are journals, textbooks, research articles, and child-centric short animated films, something that I'm going to be using in my intervention. Um, so the sampling method that I have used, the initial sampling method is a random sampling where I'm going to choose all adolescents between the ages of 13 and 17 and randomly give out my questionnaire for them to fill. Now, based on the students or the participants who have filled these questionnaires, I will go ahead with criterion sampling where I will select adolescents only with the high scores of BSQ 34 according to the questionnaire. The sample size, so according to Onweg, Boozy and Johnson in 2004, 30 participants are the most ideal for causal comparative designs, but I'm going to include 50 participants in each group to enhance accuracy, basically the experimental and the control group. My sampling frame, the inclusion criteria is school-going adolescents between the ages of 13 to 17 years of age, as I mentioned earlier, students studying full-time in urban Bangalore, students studying in either CBSE, ICSE or IGCSE schools, students who are residents of Bangalore throughout the implementation of the study, and adolescents who show evident signs of body image dissatisfaction and are willing to address their concerns. One of the main reasons why I thought it is important to only take those adolescents who are willing to address their concerns is because body image is a very sensitive issue and a lot of people want to talk about it. So it is very difficult for most adolescents to really come out and speak about how they really feel. So that's something I've added. Also, exclusion criteria: adolescents with clinically diagnosed eating disorders will not be part of my study. Adolescents who aren't in between the ages of 13 to 17 years, adolescents who aren't willing to participate in the entire counseling process, adolescents who are residents of other countries or may shift during the research process, and adolescents with low scores of body image dissatisfaction. So that is my exclusion. So I have four tools for my research. The body shape questionnaire, which is the BSQ 34 by Cooper and his colleagues in 1987, which is standardized. The film therapy intervention module, which is the intervention module that I'm going to be administering the informed consent form not only for schools but also for parents of the participants, and the demographic details sheet. Information about the client. Now, the statistical diagram involves independent variable, which is the film therapy intervention module, which is mine, affecting the dependent variable, which is body image dissatisfaction, among which there are moderating variables in between as well, which is age, gender, BMI, and grade, as we saw previously. And the interaction is basically independent variable into moderator variables. Now, the body shape questionnaire, according to Cooper and his colleagues in 1987, they had standardized this questionnaire in 1987 in their research, where they found Guttman's coefficient of split half reliability was 0.94. Examining the divided half of the BSQ, Cronbach's alpha was high and very similar to both halves. Alpha was equal to 0.94 for part 1 and 0.93 for part 2. Cronbach's alpha coefficient was computed for all 34 items to indicate internal consistency and to estimate the influence of other sources of sampling error. The coefficient was 0.97, thus the BSQ showed a satisfactory degree of split half reliability and internal consistency. Now there are multiple forms, short forms of the BSQ. I'm going to be using the full form of BSQ, not any of the short forms, which include either 8 items or 16 items. I'm going to be using all 34 items. The scale is also standardized in the Indian population by Nehra and her colleagues in 2002 and Kornapalli and his colleagues in 2017. The quantitative analysis, as I had mentioned earlier, I'm going to be using the paired sample t-test, which is basically to find out the difference between the values of the pre-test and the post-test by judging the significance of mean of the difference between the two related samples, in this case the experimental and the control group. Now the formula is T is equal to sigma sum of scores of the pre-test minus sum of scores of the post-test divided by estimated standard error of mean difference. So the film therapy intervention module integrates both Schulenberg's three-stage guideline of film therapy as well as core concepts of acceptance and commitment therapy. Now, there have been a lot of researchers which speak about how ACT or acceptance and commitment therapy actually help in reducing body image dissatisfaction among adolescents and promote positive body image, which is one of the reasons why I really wanted to integrate both of them. And something that I want to look into is the individual differences, which is why each individual counseling session will last from 45 minutes to an hour, and each session is constituted of three phases: assessment, implementation, and debriefing. Assessment is basically how we explore the problem, we understand what the problem of the client is, and we come to a conclusion that this is the film that we need to watch, and we prepare them to kind of watch the film in a positive aspect. Implementation is actually watching the film, and debriefing is basically post the film screening, where we speak about where the client speaks about how he or she felt about watching the film and what were the emotions going through his or her head. Each film constitutes a film screening in the presence of the researcher. The intervention has six sessions, sorry, and each session takes place once a week, giving the participant enough time for introspection. Now, the qualitative analysis, as I mentioned earlier, I'm going to be using interpretive phenomenological analysis. There are four stages to this analysis. The first stage is basic detailed reading and holistic perspective of the future interpretations. Basically, reading all of the points that I wrote down during my interview schedule, which was taken down during the counseling session. Stage 2 is initial themes are identified and organized into clusters. Stage 3 is more of the refining of themes, which is basically thematic analysis. And stage 4 is a narrative account of the interplay between the interpretative activity of the researcher and the participant's account of their experience. So my basic plan of analysis is basically to understand the hypothesis that needs to be tested corresponding to the objective and the method of data collection along with the method of data analysis. Now the first hypothesis that I'm going to be testing is there is a significant effect of film therapy on the level of body image dissatisfaction among adolescents. The objective corresponding to that is to explore, examine and determine the effect of film therapy on body image dissatisfaction among adolescents. Method of data collection, of course, is quantitative, where I'm going to be using the BSQ-34, and the data analysis is also quantitative, where I'm going to be using paired sample t-test. Now, the second hypothesis that I'm going to be using is that there is a positive or negative effect of film therapy on the level of body image dissatisfaction among adolescents. The two objectives corresponding to this is to explore and examine the different aspects and concerns of body image and body image dissatisfaction among school-going adolescents, as well as to examine the individual differences reflecting in the participants' accounts of their thoughts and perceptions about their own body image. The method of data collection is of course qualitative, where I'm going to be conducting individual counseling sessions through film therapy intervention module, and I'm going to be using interview schedule module, sorry, interview schedule method. Qualitative data method of data analysis is the interpretive phenomenological analysis. The third hypothesis that I'm going to be testing is there is no significant effect of film therapy on the participants personal variables and institutional variables in determining the level of body image dissatisfaction. However, the same objectives are going to be corresponding to that as above. The method of data collection again is quantitative, where I'm going to be using the demographic details sheet, which gives me information about my moderator variables of the client. And the method of data analysis is quantitative, where I'm going to be using multiple regression to understand which of the moderator variables has a higher effect on the level of body image dissatisfaction. Yeah. Now, my ethical considerations are informed consent will be attained by the school after conferring with the parents of the participants since they are minors. Confidentiality of information will only be broken based on the intensity of unhealthy behaviors expressed by the clients, which is basically self-harm or harm to others. Also, client informed consent form will enhance the level of comfort in the counseling process and promote honest responses. Also the implications of my study, so I have divided my implications into two, based on individual and based on organizational. Individual is so I believe that my intervention will enhance self-esteem, positive body image, positive body acceptance, and body positive reframing of watching films, because most of the times we watch films in so many different perspectives, and not all those perspectives involve positive reframing. So that's something that I want to look into, especially with adolescents. Next is organization, or at an organization level, I hope to inculcate film as therapeutic instruments in the life skills curriculum that we have in India, also promoting film based learning in the government level of education. So these are my references. Thank you so much. Thank you.